did you get one? Did you get one? I'm like, one what? She goes, did you get a date? And so finally I was able to say, yes, I did get a date. Today, this man from Argentina, he said, you are big and beautiful. I said, you know what? You're an end cap. I think you're a little short for me. So I did get one match from this guy in Odessa, and he was a prophet or something. Thus saith the Lord, blah, blah, blah. Or, I don't know if he was giving me a prophetic word or a prosthetic word or just a pathetic word. I'm not sure what it was. I'm charismatic. People come up to you and say, the Lord wanted me to tell you something. Me too. Breath mint. I want to stay away from those people, unless it's, for me. So he emails me, and on the second email, he's in love with me. And the Lord has told him we're going to get married. Really? Which Lord? Like Jesus Lord or the Lord of the Panhandle? So I didn't want to be rude, but he was like, I love you, you're so beautiful. I'm like, I get that a lot. This is my testimony. And so I wanted to be nice to him. He's like, I love you, and so I wanted to say something nice back, and so I said, and you have a beautiful tooth. And it looks shiny in the picture. You put the O in Odessa. You guys want his email? I bet you he's still single. And he's got a prophetic word for you from the Lord. I know. If you want to feel attracted, go on eHarmony. You're like, these people need prayer. A lot of prayer. So you got to be careful of the church people. Do you guys have any church people here, or they're just regular people? Regular people. You're just regular people? Who sits in the same area in church every Sunday? You're not regular people. So, Pastor, these are all the liars, okay? Jesus said, come to me, be vulnerable, and I can heal your land. You will turn from your wicked ways and move to another section in the front. Give up your chair so I can increase your territory. Amen. So, there's nothing worse than getting to church and somebody is in your seat. I cannot stand that. Right? Because you get to church and it's like this, hi, what's your name? We're role playing. What's your name? Jeannie, are you a visitor? Good, because I usually sit there every Sunday. And the pastor passes this thing, and I pay for my seat every single Sunday. I have season tickets, but I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you next year. That is the worst when people are in your seat, right? But, things have always not been so funny in my life. I know that's hard to believe, but I grew up and kind of had a rough start. I kind of had really strict, really strict parents who took the laying on of hands a little too seriously. And my dad said, we have proven that you cannot beat something out of a child. I'm like, super. My dad told me one time, he goes, if you're ever in a car wreck, cover your mouth, because we spent a lot of money on it and we know it'll be open. What do you mean? And so when I got out on my own, I was going to live my own life. How many of you guys did that? Don't raise your hand. The pastor's children. There's a special, I have a word for you later. So I went to Los Angeles, I did my own thing, I was going to show them, I didn't need anybody. I grew up in the church, and the church was kind of blah, blah, blah. I didn't know anybody that had any fruit. I knew some people that had some canned fruit. But I didn't know anybody that had any fruit. And the Bible said you get this, and if you do this, I'll give you this. I didn't know anybody that had any of that. Most of the Baptists that I know had little tiny wine bottles in their glove compartment, and you could hear it, because when if the brakes, it was like click, 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 click. And that was just my own car. But but I used a straw because my teeth. And so, when I got out on my own, I was going to do my own thing, and I never thought in 100,000 years I would come back at 26 years old and marry the church guy. But that was what God wanted me to do, and I thought, you know what? I married the church guy. Jesus must really like me. And he does. Ask my husband. We both fell in love with the same person. Me. I mean, if you knew me, you would love me. Right, Jennifer? Okay, she sat next to me at dinner. And I gave her a check to say that. And so, I thought everything would just sort of work out. I thought I married the church guy, so Jesus must love me. And then we had our first child, James. We'd gone on a mission trip to India, and I figured if you go on a mission trip, God really loves you, especially to India where it's I'm like, I'm from Texas, I'm going to need some air conditioning. It's kind of hot here. And it's 17 days long. And so we got back from India, and I was pregnant with James. We were very excited, and James was born July 8th, 1994, 9.5 pounds. I know. Holding a to-go menu. He was like, I'll have a number 1 from Whataburger, extra tomatoes, and a Diet Coke. And so he was totally perfect, just like his mother. He was texting at 4 days, and he sat up and he rolled over, and he was almost throwing a football at 2 months. You know, all the things that Texas babies do, and everything was completely fine. And then all of a sudden, something terrible happened. Something terrible happened. And I don't know what you signed up for in life, but I signed up for things to go Karen's way. It says in the Bible, thy kingdom come. I meant it. Thy. I thought thy was me. I wanted my kingdom, Karen's kingdom. And I set up my little kingdom, and I went to church, and I wore a dress, dropped in my check, did these things, and I just figured things would go good if you did all those little things. And so we took James for his 18-month checkup, and we got him his vaccines, and we brought him home, and literally he would run to the hall, the same place, and stand and slam his head back in the wall. Now, I don't mean like have a fit. I mean within 30 days there's a hole in the sheetrock that you can put a basketball through. He's 18 months old. I'm thinking boys are really rough. So like any good American mother, I take him to McDonald's and get him a Thomas the Train, because that should fix anything. And things get worse and worse and worse, till ultimately we find that he's eating all the wallpaper off the walls. He's pulled up the carpets, eating the foam off of that. This is a problem. He's eating his toys. It's like he has this insatiable appetite for rubber. He's lost all of his language. If you touch him, he flips out, and he will stand and rock for hours. Now, at this point, we're doing interim music, and which means you're auditioning at a new church every 3 Sundays. And you get tired of going in and explaining, listen what he has to do. He's gonna eat a piece of rubber, he'll throw up, then he'll be fine. You get tired of explaining that to people. And so we stopped going to church. He got so sick, it got worse and worse and worse, until ultimately, when he was 3 years old, he was diagnosed classically autistic. And I don't know what you know about autism, but growing up privileged and very Republican and very right all the time, ask anybody, this is not what I signed up for. I did not sign up for a handicapped child. I did not sign up for a child that wouldn't look cute in his outfit. I did not sign up for this. How many of you guys have ever been in a situation you did not sign up for? Right? And so I figured if there was a way out of this thing, I was going to find it. The first book I ever read in 3rd grade was Zig Ziglar's See You at the Top. So I would just muster my way through this, and the last thing I thought of was going to God. I mean, we were only on staff at a church. Why would you actually go to God? I mean, we do that on Sundays and stuff, but I mean, I went to the internet, went to my customers, went to my friends, didn't ever think about going to God. I just didn't know anybody that really had real God fruit in their life. And so he got sicker and sicker and sicker. CPS has called on us twice to take him away. We have another child, because I'm thinking that would make it better. What was I thinking, Shannon? Like more children make it easier, right? And we brought Paige home in her carrier, and we set her down, and he ate the handle. I'm like, oh, that's a problem. We needed that handle on the carrier. And so things got worse and worse and worse. So ultimately, in the spring of 2000, we were looking for a home to put him in. We couldn't keep him anymore. He was full of rage. It was a sun-up to sundown ordeal. I could not stand my child. I loved him, but I couldn't stand him. And when he did finally go to sleep, I would weep over him in bed, because it would ebb and flow. And what is this thing, autism? What does that mean? It's not even a disease, it's a disorder. And we know who the king of disorder is. And so I prayed and prayed and prayed, and somewhere in there, I still knew God, and I still knew he walked with me. And in all my pain, and all my disobedience, and all my arrogance, and in all my pride, God still walked right beside me. And in 2000, one of my customers told me that she knew about a deliverance ministry. I didn't know what deliverance was. I just thought you went out to the woods and put something down on a piece of paper and it burned it in a coffee can. I don't know if you guys do that in the winter here. And then you shoot a deer. And I didn't know what deliverance was, but I was like, sweet, sign me up, because I know that I probably need some help. Anybody that knows me needs some deliverance. And so, in Matthew 25, Jesus says deliverance is the children's bread. And so I went through deliverance, which is a prayer ministry that delivers you from strongholds. It only took about 8 hours. Something about me not being honest. I'm not really sure. Oh, we're supposed to be honest. And so we prayed over these things. I really felt a relief, and I was so excited, and I just was like, wow, I got this. And at the end of the deliverance ministry, the head of the team reached over, patted me on the arm, and she goes, I believe that God is saying that we can take James through deliverance for autism. I said, oh, that's okay, sweetie. That silly head. We didn't come for that. It's not even in the New Testament. Isn't that what you do?